Hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
Ooh.
hey, hey, hey.
Ah,
Hello.
episode 5. Ah, welcome back in. Welcome back into Still with Stacey and Jill. We are so freaking grateful you're here. We're like, we got some fire. We're like pulsating over here. We're recording at a little different time, although it's hitting your earwaves the same time. So just tuning into
Yeah.
a different frequency.
It's different. Like it's a whole, yeah, it feels different. I mean, it feels good. It just feels very different. And I'm gonna be curious to see if our audience can tell and sense a difference as well. That'll be interesting.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Can you tell? Let us know in the time of day, because we normally do these in the morning. We're like
Mm-hmm.
very, so there's one hint. What time of day are we recording this? And the
Right.
one that gets it right will receive a free affirmation meditation
Boom.
from me. I'd love to send
There
it.
you go.
Okay.
There you go.
So
Ah.
there's a lot to be said, I think, in finding, since we've started this journey, you and I together, of like finding the still in myself in every moment. And that is an entire lifetime practice.
Yeah. I feel you with finding the still in every moment and what that conjures up for me inside. Like as soon as you said it, I'm like, ooh, yeah, that's like like my daily practice of presence. Like, am I fully
Mm,
present in every single moment? And
mm.
although it's required that multiple energies are going in different directions for different things, like how do I still myself to be fully present in every single moment? When I'm drinking my tea, am I fully present in that? All the things, but it feels very yeah. I think what comes up for most people might be, oh, calming. Like how do you calm
Yeah.
yourself like in the midst of it all? Yes, and what I'm getting from it is like at a deeper level, not just
Mm.
calming the nervous system, but there's a lot to still in our thoughts. There's a lot to still in our emotions, in our energies. I can have movement in my energy and it can be still energy. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's
Yeah.
moving. It's not sedentary, stagnant. It's moving, but it's very focused and aligned. It's very like,
It's the frequency waves. And this just came in.
yeah.
It's not like we've created an acronym yet for still, of like what still stands for. It's a T.
Yeah.
And T does is the first letter of trust. And I think it's well, we were chatting on this before, of like trusting. It's trust is such a deep damn word. Like
Right.
on all the
Mm,
levels
mm,
of how deep do you truly trust yourself. And Stacey and I have been, I don't want to say like challenged to a degree other than mainly just you and me thus far, when
mhm.
we got the
Yeah.
hit of like, hey, create this. Um, but there's been a
Mhm.
lot of trust in us moving this forward. And we're like episode 5. So let's talk trust.
Bam. Let's talk
Yeah.
trust. You know what? When you just said T and still, what we were just chatting about before we came on here was self-trust. And there's the S in the T for still. Just in this
T,
moment, you don't
stop.
understand.
Go ahead. I mean, I'm
It's
a
yeah,
self
trust.
trust. I, STI, self trust. I.
Self-trust is,
Mm,
I don't know, we'll come up with it. It look,
we'll
it
get
might
there.
change. I don't know. We'll get there. We'll get
Oh,
there.
it
We'll get.
will.
Every time I see
Like
LL, I'm
literally.
like, ladies love Cool J. Ladies love, ladies love.
Love.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a
Let's
lot
talk
of
about trust.
the self trust in, I mean, here's the thing, here's what I talk about a lot and working with like dream ventures, like, what my clients are creating and all the things in the world. And I know you do this the same. And I will always say, when you are in the infancy stages of like a dream that's in bloom, but it's infancy, I hold it like a newborn baby. And I am like,
Yeah.
not ready to share with you yet. I don't really know you on that level. It's to that degree, because what can happen is then you're like sharing everybody, everybody, and Joe down the road will have an opinion and they will not be the same at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like it's that incubation you're doing, like holding the self trust before you open the gates a little bit to let people in. Because, yeah, I mean, everybody's going to have something to say about something. And it's not that you open the gates to get the approval or the validation. You may just be in connection and want to share, like, this is what I'm up to in the world. This is what I'm called to do right now, or whatever the case is. But there is that little thing, I know for me, where there might be some self doubt that comes up when you hear things from someone who's, let's say, a deemed expert or a mentor or a spouse, a partner, a bestie, or whatever. You hear it, you give credence to those people's words and their thoughts. And you're like, well, damn, should I do it that way?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. All these other people are going in these other directions. Oh, I thought I was honest. Maybe. And it doesn't mean that like we don't get to question. For me, in my experience today, allowing myself to be curious about the resistance to something, it strengthened my trust. There was something that was so near and dear and close, and you open the gate a little bit. Hey, what do you think? What do you feel? And it comes back to you, and it was like, no. Like it was an instant, like, no, that's not right. That's not a line. No, 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 no. And up until now, I would have just let that be it. But today I was in that space of going, let me get real curious about my resistance to what these people are saying and sharing with me, not to cause me self doubt, but they're sharing with me because they love me. They want to see me do well. They want my, stuff to soar. But when I got curious about the resistance, still, let me tell you, what came up was so much about I'm a stand. I am a stand for what I'm called to be doing. I'm a stand for this work we're putting out in the world. Like I'm a stand for it. And I know that when it dropped in, when our higher selves started playing with this and it all dropped in, there was so much trust of following that guidance and things were happening smoothly, quickly, easily, boom. And then when we invited, I actually invited the people in.
I said invite. I said invite. I said go ahead.
You were co-signing on it, and we were like, yeah,
We
we're gonna co-sign on
co-sign.
this. Let's see, let's see, let's see, let's see. Kind of like market testing a little bit,
It was total. Like
which
we're
was
doing an
cool. Which
experiment.
was cool.
Yes.
It was cool. It was really, really good. It was a good vibe, and you know that people care because they're sharing the feedback, sharing their insights. Like that. That means a lot to me. And letting myself get curious about my resistance to what was coming through, it really did get me to a place to come full circle, zoop, lock back in. Like, oh, the
Yeah.
resistance wasn't to necessarily what I was hearing, because it was fine what I was hearing. The resistance was really more around you've shared enough and that's it. Like, you don't get to share more about this right now.
Yeah. Your stand.
You've gotten the stuff. We stand here and let's get back in alignment. Not that I was out, but like really deeper in alignment. And I'm even more anchored in to all of the things that we're up to and we're creating. But that was that self trust that just for a second was like, huh, well, this isn't what we thought. It isn't what we feel.
Well,
Maybe.
like That's also
know.
bringing in like communication, because it's so funny how we communicate and then like someone hears something so different and it's like, but that's not even what we were asking.
Right,
And
right,
then
right, right, right,
you get
right,
even more
right.
interested. I'll tell you what has happened. So like, please put a comment below if that's a normal thing. 'Cause like, I'm over here like, yeah, it will cause me to question. So have you ever opened yourself up and then you're like, why did I do that? Like, because you're getting all this feedback. Feedback is love and I love it. But I am just so grateful that the resistance that I felt when we were sharing some things was like, it was just the clearest. My intuition can work at a pretty fast pace. So can
Yeah,
yours. I know, like
yeah,
my higher self will just be like online. And she
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
no, 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 no. And then
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling it. And then, and we're all, and so Stacey and I have dialogue that's like, how does this feel? And we'll literally talk things out. So in this podcast, as you're hearing us, it'll be like, how did this feel? What's this frequency? What's the vibration that you're feeling in your body? Where do you feel that at? And that's important for us because this is who we are as humans in the world and the work that we
Yeah,
serve. And so um the thing that was coming in at one point today before we had hopped on for me just dropped in so clearly was land the plane, you're in the weeds. And I had my feet in the ground and it was
mm-hmm.
just like, oh, and I could literally see just all of this, all the information and all the feedback as like in the weeds, which who out there, right, has had that happen where then you just get so lost in the weeds of all this stuff. And then guess what? You're like not doing the thing that you were so darn excited about to do in the first place. Anyways.
So true. It's so, man, timing is everything. Yes, with being in the weeds, it was feeling very much like that. Like, oh, wait, 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 wait.
Timing is
Um,
everything.
timing is everything. Because yesterday, and I haven't shared this with you yet, Jill, but yesterday in my Roar Beyond group session, yesterday we were doing a really potent activation practice.
Mm,
And it was all about fire, like igniting this fire, like in every energy portal in your body, knowing what it feels like in your body, lighting this fire. And so I'm still soaring, like in that
mm,
space of fire, like fire energy. It purges, it purifies, it burns away what doesn't need to be there any longer and clears the way for what's coming or what does belong there. So when we were having this experience today, you were very grounded with the earth, like landing it, land the plane on this earth with your feet in the dirt, like get in there. And my resistance was up like fire, like no, fire, no, fire, no, fire, no. That's not what I meant. That's not what we said. That's not this. And not from a bad place, like, I mean,
yeah.
just not from a bad place. It was just very clear, like a flame. I just felt it like, oh, okay, okay, okay. Something's been activated. And I get to go back to what originally like dropped in. Like that's the fire, that's the torch I get to carry. So boom, here we go. That's what we're doing. But it was a wonderful, I think, experience in practicing self-trust for us individually. At any point in time, one of us could have come to the other and said, I kind of feel what they're saying. What do you think? We should move in another direction. We could have, but no, it was that self-trust for us individually. And then the, I don't know what the us trust, uppy trust, I don't know what it is, but the
Well,
trust
yeah,
with
because
each
we've already
other.
been so trusting. And y'all, what we're
Yeah.
talking about is a website domain. Okay. Be honest. This is how this is
I
what
almost spit my tea out. Yeah, neglected to mention that this was about a website domain.
can we just can we just pause?
Right, right.
It was not a big business venture. Like, oh
No,
man. Oh
no,
man.
no,
Yeah.
no. It was
So
like
anyway,
so simple of a thing,
we just
and
want
it
a
was
home for
turning
y'all.
into
We
something
want to
big.
we want a home for y'all to be able to land to and like
Right.
feel
We want
us,
you to know where to
comment.
find us
That's
and where
it.
to connect with us. We just want to provide a beautiful home for you.
Really all it
But
is.
we get to, yeah, we get to stay in that self-trust because that's part of the purpose, that's part of the vision, creating a community that feels like home for everyone listening. Like home. Ooh, that feels like
Mm,
home.
mm.
Yes, that's me. Yes, that's me. Oh, I see that in myself. Yes, I have those experiences. Or no, I don't have those experiences, but wow, it just gets to feel like home. And we get to trust that that is what's being created. And that comes from us. That comes from
Yeah.
divine co-creation. That comes from our own manifestation. Um, yeah, what the
So
multi-domain.
home is,
Ah,
oh, what does home mean to you? Because home is, I just, when you were saying that, my body was like softening, just like,
hmm.
mm,
When I think of what you're just asking, I keep going to um, Diana Ross playing Dorothy in The Wiz and singing that song. Like live on Broadway, originally it was Stephanie Mills. I was blown away hearing that like in person as a kid. But yeah, when I think of home, I think of a place where there's dot dot dot. You can fill it all in, right? But the lyrics to the song are beautiful, but it feels so enveloping. Oh, when I think of home, I think of a place, and it just feels like an actual place. It's a virtual digital place for all of us together, but
mhm.
it feels like an actual destination. Like there is a place for us. There is a place for us. There's a place for each one of our listeners home with us. Like we want this to feel like that. Like you just showed up at our house, like kicked off your shoes, and we were like, yo, come in, have a seat. Let's kick it. Want some tea?
Here we,
You want to go out? What are we doing? Just
mm,
home.
hot water and lemon. I'll tell
Hmm.
you what, I have a
Hmm.
whole relationship with that movie though, Dorothy, and
With
you know,
oh the yeah,
because I was born in Kansas.
yeah, you were. Yeah.
So that's a whole, that could be a whole other
Ooh,
thing, but
ooh,
never
ooh.
vibed. Never vibed. That's,
That makes me so curious because, all of these childhood memory things stir up things for us, right? When I, not so much The Wizard of Oz, I like it. Yeah, it's wonderful. But for me, it was The Wiz with Michael Jackson and
yeah, yeah.
Timothy Russell, like all of that. I thought, ooh. And I love musicals, loved them from birth, loved them.
Mm,
And I'm curious, like if there are any other musical lovers out there, like what's a musical that really stirs something up for you, pleasantly or unpleasantly? But what's one and like why? Like The Wiz, I just gave you a little bit, like it makes me feel when we're talking about that particular song, when I think of home, yeah, I feel warm, I feel completely enveloped and safe and like I belong and like all these beautiful
mm.
things. Um, Same with lots of other Broadway shows or musicals. But yeah, I'm just curious. The same storyline of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz depicted two very different ways.
Totally different. Yeah.
We have completely different experiences around what that conjures up on the inside. Yeah, and just I know it's a side note. I'm just curious if the listeners
Well,
want to drop it in the
another,
comments.
another, yeah, I will love to hear that because everything, like something's conjured with all the things, with words. That's why like earlier I was like, yo, even our communication isn't how it could land for somebody completely different. I have
Yeah,
something to
yeah.
share that you're talking here about musicals, Stacey.
Are you about to be on a Broadway musical, Jill?
I've never been. I've never been to a show. And I was literally, I know, I was literally telling my man the other day, and I was like, it's kind of on my list to do because we were talking about New York and like traveling to New
Mhm.
York, all the things. And I said, I was like, that would be something that I've still, it's not like the strongest desire because, if it was, I'd already have done it. Like it'd be complete. But
Absolutely.
at some point, Maybe you and I will get to go. Maybe that'll be a thing for you and I. But
Gotta go to
I've
a
not
show.
been.
Yeah, we
I
do.
know. Y'all. And I'm
Oh, and I
like,
know
this
it's not everybody's thing. I
my
don't
little
understand
girl,
that, but I
my little
respect it.
my little girl was like, oh my God, people are gonna judge me that I haven't been to a musical. She's like,
I want to
oh,
hold your little girl and tell her it's completely okay. So many millions and millions and millions and millions of people have not been to a Broadway show. It's not even a thing.
it is a
I
thing because
happen to
it interests
be,
me. But
well, I mean, it's not a thing that anybody should really be in judgment about. It's really not. It's like I've never been skydiving, like indoor, yes. But
mm,
I've never been skydiving. I've never, like, there's a bunch of stuff that I just haven't done that maybe I'm interested in, maybe I'm not,
oh
but
my gosh,
I just haven't done it.
should we do a the next episode like never have I ever? You remember that? Like never have I ever, and you say what you're like, what have you
Oh,
done? Or how does that go?
yeah, yeah. I am
And
not,
then we could share the
I
things
know it.
we've not
I'm
done.
not familiar with it, but we get to do that. I wonder if the audience like would drop in the comments some stuff. And then we can say, I have never done that. Or
Never done
yes,
that.
I've done
Yeah.
that.
Have experienced
Yes.
that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll
Yeah.
be
That would
fun.
be fun.
That'll be
That'll be
fun.
fun. That'll be really fun. I just know being born and raised in New York State, New York City was not far. And way back in the day, there used to be this airline called People's Airline, People Express or People's Express, something like that. Like a 45-minute flight. Get on, you could go to New York for lunch and come home. Like it just was super, super
Hmm.
easy. Um, and I also am aware that like lots of kids I grew up with weren't doing that. I just happened to be in a family where my father in the entertainment industry, like we did a lot of entertainment kinds of things. And so yeah, we would be in New York City while he's at the studio recording. My mom and my uncle who lived there, we'd go to a show. My uncle's daughter, my cousin, we'd go to shows, go to Tavern on the Green. Like we would do things. Um, kind of like growing up so close to Niagara Falls as a kid, I took it for granted. It's like it's a big hole with a bunch of water that comes down. Whoop de doo, seen it a million times. Yeah. Having been gone for decades and then coming to see it, it's like, oh, whoa, no wonder it's one of the wonders of the world. What? This is freaking amazing. So maybe in
Perspective.
childhood, I was taking it
Hmm.
for granted. Like, yeah, you just jump on the plane and you go. But everybody didn't grow up with New York City like right around the corner that you could get to so easily and so quickly and to be able to go to a show. So it makes sense to me that a whole lot of people wouldn't have done it
Yeah.
or seen it. So we get to potentially put some shows on our list
Mm.
of
And
things
speaking
to
of
do.
Niagara Falls, if anyone comments, I will be doing that in 2 weeks. So by the time you're hearing this, that will be
Yes,
it's a no right now, but I will be in
yes.
Niagara.
Check that
Oof.
off the list. Did the falls. Oh, Jill, this whole thing around trust and self-trust and creating home. I just feel like it's so big because there are people who are listening who are really yearning and desiring to do their heart calling, to live their passion, to write that book, go travel, have children, like whatever it is. And yeah, they get to find themselves at home with themselves, at home with their dreams, at home with their passions, and like really trust. Like if it was given to you, trust that it was given to you for a reason. There's a bigger purpose beyond what we see. You've been given that fire inside to like write that book or paint that painting, like start that business, whatever it is. It's there for a reason and it's so much bigger than you. It's so much bigger than you. And that's where we get to keep honing in on the self-trust. Like, yeah, is it about me and my dream? Sure. But it's bigger than me. Like, I get to be really at home with my dream and welcome the world in, like to enjoy it, to experience it, and feel so freaking good about it. Ooh,
Tell me. Well, here's the thing.
there's
When you're
so
home
much.
and you trust, there is still, there will be a stillness and a ease that really overcomes your entire vessel and body. You're just like, this is it. Episode 5.
Feel that. Mm, mm.
So
It's
grateful
making me move.
for you, sister, and all of you listening.
Likewise, likewise, likewise. I I feel so good that we get to do this together.
It's like the funnest thing. Y'all should eat. We're like little girls, but our
I
higher
know.
selves are like, come on, come on.
Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Mm.
Oh, still,
Well,
still,
we
still, still.
finally talking about home as we close today. In all the intertwinedness of our conversation, we
Feel
have a
like a drum
digital
roll.
home. Still
Still, the original
originalpodcast.com.
podcast.com.
There you
There
have
it
it.
is. There it is. There it is.
Oh,
Oh,
go
that
find
feels
us.
good. That feels like home.
Yes. We're here. We're here for you. Check us out.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Still originalpodcast.com. Come see us.
With Stacey and Jill. We'll be here
Swing by.
next week.
Ooh.
Same time, same place. Sending you lots of
Mm.
love.
Mwah. Be well, everyone.